Uh, my name is Opollo Zakaria Onyango, but famously known as Opollo Kopolo. That's the name that many people know and the name that many people call me with. I'm a young man, aged 32 years old, and currently I'm a teacher of mathematics and physics at Kakuyuni Boys Secondary School. I'm also the Assistant Executive Secretary for Kupet Kilifi, as well as a member of Research, Publishing and Communication Department or Committee of our union at the national level. I'm also a member of the church. I sing at the Favored Ministers. I'm a great singer, gospel singer, but also a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, where we also have leadership roles. I'm a father. I'm a husband of one wife, one female wife. I'm also a father of three, very beautiful two girls and one young man. And I'm happy of the family that we have. Now, I was born in Homa Bay County, Homa Bay Town Constituency, Homa Bay West Ward, in a place known as Kodwogo in Homa Bay. That is where I started my schooling in a primary school called Adongo Primary School, where I went from nursery up to class 8. Those days we didn't have PP1, PP2. Those days we only had a nursery where we could go. You hold your ears, head. Your hand passes over your head. If it touches your ears, then you are fit to go to school. So we couldn't go by age. It's as long as your hands will reach your ears. So I started with the nursery school and went to primary up to class 8. Now, while I was in class 7, I was position 1, where I was supposed to move to class 8. But because my sister, the one I'm following, was already in high school and the fee issue was a problem, so I was forced to repeat class 7 besides being position 1, so that I could give her space to move, because I was a bit moving faster than her. So I was requested to give her space so that she could go to Form 2. And then after going to Form 2, at least that's when I went to class 8. Class 8 also I did my first KCP in 2006 after repeating class 7. But again, I was number 1 in our school with 319 marks. Those days getting 300 was not easy in that our school. So I was a celeb by those days, getting 319 out of 500 marks. But again, because of the same fee issue, I had to allow her go to Form 3. Is when I could join Form 1. So I was again requested to repeat. I repeated class 8 again, where I had to do now my KCP exam, the final one in 2007. Again, I became number 1 in the school. That was my norm, being number 1 but repeating. But now this time around, with 359 marks, that was one of the best performance in that school for all those years. In fact, the only person who had ever gone ahead of me had gotten 363 in the years only one student. The rest, I was number 2 in that period, but in that our year I was number 1. So because of the scores that I got, I was now forced to go to secondary school, where I attended Orero, the school Orero Secondary School. Orero Boys is in Rangwe in Homa Bay constituency, Homa Bay county, but Rangwe constituency in Rangwe Center. That is one of the school which was very lucrative by those days. The only school that has ever taken students to the university, all students, 2 times. In our year when we did our exam in 2011, by the grace of God, I managed to go to get the university grade and applied for the university. I wanted to become a lawyer, and in fact, in all my books, it was just written there, Justice Opollo. Everybody in the school used to know me, in our class used to call me Justice Opollo, because I seriously wanted to become a lawyer. My mentor is Justice Riaga Omolo, who is an uncle to my mom, and I used to follow him so much. I used to see how he lives, and he made me love law. But my mom loved education. My mom wanted me to get a job very fast. So while I was applying for it's called revision. When we were doing revision for application to the university, I was leaving home to go and apply for law, and I'd already checked universities that were offering law, and my grade quality, my grade could fit there, cut points But my mom told me that I want you to go for education. You go become a teacher. And then I refused. But when I left home, she prayed for me. And then I went to town, because our home is in the village. So when I went to town where we could do cyber, we could only find cyber in Homa Bay town. Surprisingly, when I was applying for the courses, now all the courses I wrote were education. Option 1, education. Option 2, education. Option 3, the third one, university, education. And then now down there, that's when I placed law in one of the institutions, which was just coming as an afterthought, and another one for journalism, because I was so much interested in humanity courses. In education, when I applied for big universities, Kenyatta University, Nairobi University, but I saw a university called Pwani University, and I had never traveled to Coast Region. For all those periods, I never even, the highest place I'd reached in Nairobi, which I was also taken while I was a student, and then returned. So I had never gone far from our area. But when I saw Pwani University, I said, I want to go to that Pwani University. Then I placed it as an option. So when I went back home, I shared with mom, because I only have my mom. Dad had passed away, so we only share with mom for some good time. And I told her I've applied for education, and she was very happy. I've never seen my mom happy as that. Sometimes it's kumbe parents can be happy. And then finally, I told her that I'm going to Pwani University. Then she told me, Pwani University is like, you may go to a place which is just a small, like Adongo Primary School here. But I told her, whether it is a church in the night, but a university daytime, I'm going there. And by that time, I had not received the notification that I'm coming to Pwani, but it had clicked into my mind that I'm coming to Pwani University. And then on the day I received the news that those days, we used to have joint admission board admitting. It used not to be CUSIPs. So they used to send us a message, and I received a message that I've been admitted to do education science at Pwani University. And I rolled on the floor at home, because it was joy. I received the university I wanted. So I came to Pwani, and that is where I did my course in education, mathematics and physics. Finished in 2016, that's when I graduated. Started teaching at Mwasere Girls in Voi, in Taita Taveta. And then after Mwasere Girls, as a BOM teacher, I was invited again, called to Bahari Girls, where I also worked as a BOM teacher, teaching mathematics and physics there. I was teaching girls. Those girls, I used to teach them with all my heart. And then from Mwasere Girls, from Bahari Girls, I left and went for a training called Young African Leaders Initiative, an initiative by Barack Obama, sponsored by USAID. We used to have the Center for East and Central Africa is in Kenyatta University, Chandaria building. So that's where I was invited after going through thorough interviews. I managed to go there. Was trained for 1 month in 2018 from May to June, April 28th to June to May 28th before I returned. Now, because of that 1 month away, I could not return to Bahari Girls, so I had to look for other alternatives. But while in Yali, I was also again elected. Is called the King of KUC, King of KU, where when we stay with East and Central African young leaders, they elect one person who they feel was exemplary in offering services and in talking to people, sharing with people while we were at the training. So they elected me as that person. It was a great honor, and I still appreciate, because it was not an easy task to be elected by East and Central Africa young leaders. Some are doing very big jobs. Me, I was jobless by that time. Others are running very big organizations, but they still trusted in me. So from there, I came back to Kilifi, stayed from June 2018 to 2019. I couldn't have a job. I was just doing some normal business. I used to sell samaki. I was bringing fish from Lake Victoria, frying and selling to people. But in 2019, I was called to go and teach at Galana Boys Second School, where I taught again for 1 year in 2019 before joining Teacher Service Commission in 2020. In 2020, January, I reported now to Kakuyuni Boys Second School as now a TSC employed teacher, and that is where I am up to date. Started teaching in January 2020. In March 2020, on 19th of March 2020, our former President Uhuru Kenyatta announced that the schools were closed because of corona case that was found. So we stayed home until July. By that time, people had already started their campaigns for Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, KUPPET. I had just joined. We returned to school in 2020 September. I had not yet started my campaign. I did not even know that I'm going to vie in KUPPET until November 2020. So I saw the way people were campaigning. I looked at what they were doing, and then I said I can try this. Initially, I'd longed to join the union. In fact, I'd already said that one day I will replace the former Secretary General for NAT, Sosion. Before I joined teaching, I'd said that this is the man I will go and replace, because I was seeing the way they were operating. I loved the union so much. So in 2020 November, nilijitosa uwanjani, and I said now I want to vie as the Assistant Executive Secretary, just barely when I was still on probation, because my probation ended in 2021 January. And in 2021 February, the great teachers of Kilifi saw in me the leadership qualities and gave me the mandate to serve. So I have been serving as the Assistant Executive Secretary up to date. It's a great pleasure serving teachers. It has been nice. Those who have always inspired me most since my childhood, number one, I was seriously inspired by the President of the USA, former President Barack Obama. When I read his history, I read the book for Barack Obama. Those days, I think that one must have been 2008 there. So when I read his book on how he rose from just in the village, in as much as he was born in America, but from a poor background, I read through his book and I saw kwamba it is possible. I can rise from the background, the poor background I was in, up to where his level is. The second person inspiring most, in as much as many people do not like him because of his leadership style, but he inspires me more because on the zeal he normally has when he's looking for something, and the push he normally gives to ensure that he gets it. That is our current president, Honorable William Samoei Ruto. I've always been inspired on how he pushes himself beyond elastic limit to ensure that he attains what he wants. So I desire to attain what I want. That's what I normally go for. And then maybe the third person whom I leave for today, though many people politically, many people are really inspiring me. But this young man, Honorable Babu Owino, is my greatest inspiration. He's a man I've kept to follow his footsteps because he goes for it. In life, people make mistakes. I know there could be some mistakes he has made as a person, but I love the zeal of leadership that he has, and I love the stand he has. That is what has always inspired me, so that I ensure that all the time I live up to their standards. So though there are so many people who are inspiring me, Ibrahim Traore, a man who has stood for Africa, such kind of leadership. Those are people who are always inspiring me a lot, and I desire and ask that one day, because I know even from their backgrounds, they have come from not very well-off families, and they give me hope that one day, one time, we shall be on those platforms. So such kind of people are really inspiration to me. In Kuppet, after election as Kuppet Assistant Executive Secretary, where the position which I currently hold, there are major achievements that I have made. I have given some of the reforms that we are in. We have brought the issue of insurance of teachers that used to be a challenge. When I got into the office, nobody even knew that the teachers are having an insurance. Teachers didn't even know how they should register. They didn't even know who to contact when they have a problem in the hospital. But since I got into the office as the Assistant Executive Secretary, I spent sleepless nights. In 2021, 2022, I spent sleepless nights streamlining our insurance to ensure that in Kilifi County, teachers can access medical services. And I served both primary and secondary. I served both teachers in Tana River, in Lamu, both of them, because they used to get medical services in Malindi before we referred them to Mombasa in bigger hospitals. So I served them, and currently I know every Kuppet official has the courage to assist because of the work that we did. On the promotion of teachers, there is a time when our CEO, who is now retiring, Nancy Macharia, went to the parliament and told parliamentarians that they had promoted all teachers. When the job groups for teachers were changed, the names was changed when we were getting into curriculum progression guidelines. So they changed the names of the job groups from J, K, L to what we currently have, C1, C2, C3, D1, D2. So when they changed the names of the job groups, they told the parliament that money had been used in promotion. Yet they did not do the promotion. So when I realized, I heard what they were telling the parliament, I personally called our national chairman, Mheshimiwa Omboko Milemba, who is a member of the parliament. And we shared with him. I went up to Nairobi, we met with him, and I told him that TSC did not change the job, did not promote teachers. They only painted a donkey black and white and started calling it zebra. And that's the same thing he called the chairperson in charge of education committee in the parliament, Mheshimiwa Meli, and told Meli the same thing. And that was on a Friday. And Meli assured him that on Tuesday, the next week, that was in 2024, the TSC was supposed to be called back to parliament. And on Tuesday, the person in charge of legal affairs, Bwana Anyuor, was in parliament to affirm the same. And that is what led to promotion of teachers, which currently we are even having a promotion going on. There are 25,000 that were done recently. There are other 20,000 that we are still waiting for. And that is what brought those promotions. So it looks small, but it changed the country. I have been a champion of teachers' rights. In our recent strike that ended last year, that strike, I was personally at the forefront in the foundation, the organization, and even until the time the strike was announced. And even I fully participated in that strike. I think so many people in Malindi, Kilifi, and Kaloleni saw how I was so much passionate about bringing those changes during the strike. And I'm happy that teachers' voices are now being heard through me, and even together with the other colleagues that we are working with. There are challenges that we face in the union. You see, me, I told you I went to the union when I'm still very young. So people look at me, sometimes they feel like I don't know anything. They think like I'm young and they are old. So they know I don't know. So there's sometimes discrimination we face. Sometimes you get into a place and you want to do something for teachers, but your bosses are seeing like you are we call in subordinating them. So there's a lot of challenges we face as a young person in the leadership. I've tried to face the bull by its odds. I removed fear from my mind. So whoever is speaking will speak, but I have to push myself and help teachers. So beside those challenges that I've faced, financial challenges, there is just like when you're fighting for people's rights, you need to have resources. So sometimes you spend a lot of your resources to ensure that teachers' lives are safe. But the most surprising challenge we have had was once said by somebody called, I think, Sam Nujoma. It must have been either Sam Nujoma or Samora Machel when fighting for people, and he said that fighting for Africans is very difficult because in one hand you are fighting for Africans, the other hand you are preventing Africans who are fighting you. So you are fighting Africans who are fighting you for fighting for them. So it has been tough because on one hand you are fighting for the rights of teachers. So you are having a sword, fighting with the government, fighting with our insurer, teachers, medical insurer. But on the other hand, there are also teachers who are fighting you for fighting for them. So you have to be blocking the stones they're throwing on you. It is not easy. But we have sailed through, and I'm happy up to this moment I've become stronger and stronger in ensuring that teachers' lives are safe. What is motivating me to keep on going is the desire to, when I see a teacher happy, I just feel like I need to be happy. It keeps me going. Number two is the how do we call it? The achievement that I have made just because of my service. I failed to tell you, but it is because of this leadership and the work that I've been doing that the party ODM saw in me and gave me the mandate to be the secretary to the county elections committee of the ODM party. These are we normally rewards that keeps on telling me that kumbe whatever I'm doing can be seen and will be rewarded, and they keep enable me to keep on going. I just keep on pushing myself to ensure that I help, because I've seen a lot of rewards coming, even to be elected, to be given a position in the committee as the research, publishing and communication committee of our union. It's just a reward of what I've been doing, and this is what keeps me going. And also God has been faithful. My family, besides me being outside, I keep on moving, but God has kept my family safe, and that gives me courage to keep on serving humanity. It is balancing my work to my professional work as a teacher together with all these things that I do has never been easy, but I've really enjoyed it because I deliver to my students fully. In fact, when you go to class and ask them, they'll tell you that I'm their best teacher. They call me Baba. So I'm their best teacher, but at the same time, I also have to ensure that this side of the union, just like every country, there is always a sword, and the sword is the symbol for power. Now, this cape which I have has always been my symbol for power. It's the pride I normally have that reminds me that I need to be a fighter. I need to be fighting for the people. If you look at it, you see it's not like the one the coast region people wear. People have always confused it with the one for Nigeria. This is a special one. In fact, it is only found in one place in this country. I've never found it anywhere else. So basically, this is just my symbol for power. The one that, just like the country have a sword, this one gives me the power. When I have it on my head, then I feel like now I'm a unionist. In fact, the time I don't have it, I don't even feel like I need to be speaking on behalf of teachers. But anytime I have this cap on my head, then I feel like the unionism in me is growing and the power to continue fighting for the rights of teachers. Just like our former founders, they used to have their caps, which were a symbol of power. That's the same symbol I have. And I wish I will be having it until the last day. When one day God shall take me, I don't know when, I prefer that this cap will be on my head. Push yourself, go for it. Whatever you desire to have, go for it. But as you go for it, number one, maintain the focus. Don't be distracted by any other thing. Maintain the focus, but also with integrity. The most tool that has kept me going is being honest and having integrity, doing the right thing even when nobody's seeing. So you go for it, but remain focused with the highest level of integrity, because that is what shall help us. Don't insult people for you to rise. Don't kill your father for you to inherit his wealth. You can wait for your father to die, then you will receive the wealth. But if you kill your father on the day of the burial of your father, you will also be killed. So you will all both lose. So let your father die peacefully so that you inherit the wealth. That too means don't kill the person who came before you. Use them as a ladder to climb to the next level.